Welcome to BrainStorm9000.
You got a brain? Your brain wants to listen to this podcast.
So open your brain.
I keep trying to nail it, but it's just like, the got a brain. I'm just like, what is my character's motivation when I say that line? Because, I want to make them feel it,
Listen, your character and your brain's motivation is the same. Brain is the main organ. People don't get it, okay? So we need to teach them a little bit and help them.
Oh, I get to teach something?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've been waiting to be a teacher for so long, bro.
Okay.
Every day's pizza day. Every day's movie day. I got you guys.
Okay.
Best class ever.
Right. Yeah, pizza's good.
Class in session. Let's get it, guys.
Okay.
So, this bassy voice in your ear, this soothing, sensual, seductive voice is, of course, the usual Jane, but I just have, a frog in my throat. I think I got strep throat, and, it's just, I'm feeling at a point in my life I could really just be myself and use my true speaking voice, So, me, Jane McMaster here to host your BrainStorm9000 experience and, just talk about life, being a,
You just said you are Jane McMaster?
Oh, yeah.
No, listen, you are not Jane McMaster.
I'm not?
No, you don't look like a woman. You look like a tall, skinny, black male. Kind of good looking, maybe. Right? And your name is MS, correct?
And MS?
Yeah.
No, my name is not MS, it's Hermes.
MS?
Yes.
Like in what? Like what does it mean?
It's actually Greek.
Right.
Greek god.
Like Hermes, like Hermes, like
yeah,
HER.
like messenger of the gods, like wings on the back of the feet.
Excuse me.
I have them tucked away though.
Right. And my name is Dr. Schultz, right? Remember?
I think so. I guess.
So you just dropped here from the sky?
I mean, you asked me when I was walking down the street if I just wanted to do a podcast with you.
So do you have any questions?
So when you say doctor, are you like an evil genius?
Well, I should be modest, right? So I'm a psychiatrist. I'm a board-certified psychiatrist.
So do you just read every single person you go down the street? You can tell who's the sociopath, who's the crazy person, who's the person who's just having a bad day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, you have the gifted touch.
Right.
Copy. Well, kids, since it's Hermes' first day here on the mic with you guys, I think it's time to have a good old Marvel origin story about this guy, Dr. Schultz, I'm going to be here with.
So that would be me.
That would be you. That would be you.
So what do you want to know? Or should I say, what do you want to know?
How long did you want to be a psychiatrist?
Well, that is a trick question. Actually, I wanted to become a doctor for a very long time. I decided to become a doctor when I was in the 5th grade. And then I read a book which is called One Heart, Two Lives, which was written by Dr. Barnard. It was a guy cardiac surgeon from South Africa who was the first person on earth to successfully transplant the heart from one person to another. And it basically turned my life. So initially I was heavily into thinking that if we all learn how to do heart transplants, we are going to save the world. Mind you, I was born in 1955. So in the 60s and the 70s, when it was happening in my head, people still were heavily into hard stuff. They discovered personality A, personality type A, type B, that if you are type A, you can get heart attacks. You don't remember it because you weren't around, right? But people started jogging. But then as I grew up a little bit and started doing research while I was in high school, initially I was awarded for developing a method of heart transplant from one frog to another. I still have this diploma with Lenin's picture. It was between the 8th and the 9th grade. And then by the 10th grade, I realized that actually our main organ is the brain and we should start taking care of it. So ever since I started doing neurophysiology research, and, things began to happen more and more. And when I came to the United States in 1988, I went into neuroendocrinology research at Columbia University. and then passed my boards here because you have to take them again if you're a foreigner, and went and did psychiatric residency training at Beth Israel in New York.
Copy. So, on a daily basis, what do you think is like the best part about what you do?
Well, on the daily basis, the best part of what I do is that I try my best, and sometimes I am successful to help people realize how important their brain is. And also I try to teach them that actually the stigma that is hanging over everybody's head about going to a psychiatrist, it means you're crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or going to a psychologist, it means you're crazy. It's actually inaccurate because actually our brain is just yet another organ. Like, people don't feel ashamed if they have high blood pressure, right? They just take medication.
True. I thought you were going to say actually everybody's crazy also.
You think that everybody's crazy?
Oh, yeah. I think it's just like different shades of like how put together you seem to be on any given day. But the same way, I feel like you say everybody should not be ashamed to like just go to therapy, go to a psychiatrist.
Right.
I think everybody has their things they need to work out because everybody's their own kind of shade of crazy, I feel like.
Well, of course, we all know that all the psychiatrists are crazy, right?
Oh, they themselves are crazy?
Yes.
Actually, that kind of makes sense.
You know, I used to work in a cardiology department when I did my internship in medicine in Moscow, and we had a very old female doctor who, in her day, probably was very attractive and, slept around quite a bit and was very popular. And then he kind of like grew to be not that attractive, but was still very coquettish. And we had a very cool psychiatrist who came to consult on patients because in cardiology or in medicine, generally speaking, a very disturbed person can still wind up with a heart attack, right? Mm-hmm. And she liked him very much. So once when we had our lunch together, she asked him, so let's say Dr.
Maltofian.
Whatever.
I'm pulling that word from.
Yes,
Yes, Dr. Maltofian.
Yes. So Dr. Maltofian. So is it true that psychiatrists become crazy because they work with crazy people? And his answer was vice versa. And she said, what do you mean? He said, first we are crazy, then we become psychiatrists. Think about it.
It's like the origin story, actually.
No, my origin story is very simple. After doing neurophysiology for many years, I wanted actually to bring significantly more difference today into what's going on. So I became a psychiatrist, and then I quickly realized, it took me quite a few years, that we still work in a very old model. And will continue doing so despite of the fact that actually life has become very, very different for the last, give or take, 30 or 50 years, correct? Like, do you know how old iPhone is? Trick question.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
It didn't just like come out like in the beginning of time and we've just had them ever since?
Yeah, but then we forgot about it.
Oh, okay, cool.
It died off with the pyramids, and it came out actually about 10 years ago. That's why it's called iPhone 10.
Copy. That's why.
Come on.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
No, yeah, I do know. I'm learning so much.
So we have sophisticated iPhones for probably just the last 10 years or so. Mm-hmm. The internet has developed also in about probably last 20 years or so. And computers became such an invasive and pervasive part of our life also quite recently. We are not doing anything about it. Like, there are people like Elon Musk, some philosophers in England and in the United States, some writers, and we are going to talk about them quite soon, who talk about it. But actually, I agree with Elon Musk. We are already the cyborgs. Like, the reason that you and I are not holding our cell phones right now is because we decided to celebrate your first appearance by recording it in a very professional studio. So we are sitting in a very small room, kind of like stuck in a very small room, which is kind of too warm, right? And we have no access, right? We have no access to our iPhones. But wouldn't you like to have your iPhone right now in your hand?
Honestly, yeah, I'm honored that you left your phone because it's my first time. Because
Right.
this whole time I've been just staring out the glass window of the studio, like,
Right.
where's my phone at? Like, is it ringing right now? I'm like an addict going through withdrawals.
Right.
That's what's going on. So
Right.
yes, but yeah, that is the real reason. Is because it's my first episode. So of course I'm leaving my iPhone out of the studio booth.
Today.
Yeah,
but
today.
you are going to have it tomorrow, right?
Oh, yes. Just know, my listeners, that there will always be a vibration happening in the background. It's my phone going
Right.
off. But I'm still talking and,
Yes.
interacting with you people. It's me talking to the fact man.
Right.
The brain fact man.
The
Yeah,
brain
yeah,
fact
the
man.
brain fact man.
Yeah,
It's a good fact man.
so it's a big issue. I mean, I could go forever, and I've gone forever already on quite a few of our previous episodes. How much different the environment is for our brains right now. So it is our main organ, just by the fact that even a total, pardon me for being so politically incorrect, idiot still texts and uses two thumbs and has to use the brain to push the buttons, right? But the brain is in a very bad shape. Like, seriously, don't you think that it's kind of like crazier and crazier every single day?
With all the technology things going on?
No, just what you see on the street, in subway, like.
Are people becoming objectively crazier?
Forget about objectively.
Okay, subjective side?
Yeah, like whatever you feel, Mr. Scientist over here.
I am a scientist. Thank you.
Yes,
I didn't discuss my profession, but
right,
yes,
right.
I have a lab coat on right now and some boots.
Right.
Yeah, I guess people are kind of like, you know what I really think? I feel like people are more removed than they were, and it makes social situations come out in this weird, crazy way.
Right.
Like, I feel like the lack of social skills and like people's ability to relate and empathize with, especially like 20-somethings,
Right.
with people around them, like, I see people who will like rather have a conversation through text or send a direct message rather than speak with somebody face to face and like say how they really feel. And I feel like that's probably the weirdest thing I've seen. Like, people who are scared to say that like you did something rude to them. Like, if you like took their umbrella on accident,
Right.
they wouldn't say anything, but they like be in a group text message with coworkers like, oh my God, John just took my umbrella. He always does that. He's always doing passive aggressive stuff. Like, people are losing social skills, and I feel like that is making people crazy in itself.
You know what? I'll give you an example from 2 days ago. At my office, we had a patient who saw one of the nurse practitioners, and he wanted her to write for him a special paper about what is called a therapeutic animal, meaning flying, let's say JetBlue or whatever, wants to bring his dog with him and feels that because he's so scared to fly and gets anxious, the dog would help. So it's a reasonable request.
Also, Ryan's rich because he flies JetBlue. Like, poor people fly Spirit.
No. So Spirit, whatever. I don't even know what.
Okay,
he
so
was,
he's
right?
broke.
Right.
He rides Spirit.
Yeah.
He still lives at his mom's house.
Right.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
I have no idea. And by the way, nobody's sponsoring this, so we are not getting paid for mentioning all these names, unfortunately.
Spirit, I need the sponsorship. We can talk later.
Yeah, JetBlue, I love you. Yeah. So she actually typed up a letter, gave it to him, like before. It didn't work out because for people to know, just a piece of information for you, generally speaking, each airline has its own form that needs to be filled out. So if you really need to fly with your therapeutic animal, you need to check with them first and then bring it to your providers. Just, heads up. So he brings the form. At the end of the day, on a totally random day, she fills it out, gives it to people to fax it to him. They email it to him, and they receive back a very long text cursing at them, saying terrible things. And, I'm not shy, but I'm not going to repeat them because I don't want to upset them again because they are going to listen to this. And finally says that you'd better not read your reviews because I'll spend the rest of my night, writing them. So I guarantee you, I never met the guy, but I guarantee you, he would never say anything like that to anybody's face. ever.
There are too many Yelp thugs out there. Like Yelp thugging is the way of life
so
right
it
now.
makes it very easy, right? So what wound up happening, actually, they came to me before reading his bullshit and asked me whether I can, because she already was gone and I stay late at the office, my office. So, of course, I filled out a form. I even put an extra stamp and we sent it to him. But if it was a normal social situation, he would have just come and said, hey, I mean, I can't see anything here, okay? But most importantly, while all this is happening, and you hit a point that, and I hate to bring it to you, most of the people who start thinking about what's going on will tell you the same thing, that the most striking thing is a lack of communication skills. So Elon Musk is afraid that that AI is going to take over, but people are becoming like computers already, right?
Drones, bro.
Yeah?
I mean, at least 4 times a day on the streets of New York, just completely face-on, head-on collision. I need like Geico insurance for walking down the street because no one lifts their head up from their phone. Like
Really?
people are just like 90-degree angle with the sidewalk, like right angles walking down the street. Like failed trigonometry, all that stuff during school. I'm an expert now because people are in these weird angles at all times. Like whether it's the selfie pose or they have some kind of extended 6 feet selfie stick. Every time we're supposed to like go to a museum or any kind of open public space that has art and things for you to appreciate. It's like through the lens of a phone at any given time.
Yes.
So, but you know, I'm all ready for iRobot. Like, I could be an iRobot too, you know.
By the way, do you know what iRobot, what original iRobot was? It was a book written by Isaac Asimov, a very famous science fiction writer, who actually, in this book, introduced 3 main rules for robots. We are going to discuss them at the next episode. So a little teaser for you people.
Okay. Next time.
Right. So this is a concern, but I don't know whether you follow Elon Musk's thinking, but with his capacity to get what he needs to get done, he'll probably do. And the link that he wants to develop, a wide band, high-speed link between the brain and AI, that's what he wants to do. So he has his own reasons, and we'll discuss them later. But once that happened, what the hell is going to happen to our brains? I mean, to him it sounds, and I'm pretty sure he is wiser and just doesn't have the time to present, that once it happens, we'll be able not only to take advantage of what computer can give us, but also kind of like be on the same page, because he says that right now, the speed of communication between computers and the speed of acquiring the data is much higher for a computer than a human being, because we actually decreased the speed, because from 10 fingers, we now brought it down to 2 thumbs, right?
No, facts. But I don't want to type no more.
Right, but you're right. So you can talk to Siri if you want to.
Siri, she has so much lip, bro. I can't deal with that girl right now.
Yeah, have you ever tried to curse at her?
Nah, I try to be respectful toward women. My mom always told me that.
You know what? When we got Alexa, the first thing we did probably, or like the second thing, we said, hi, Alexa, and then we cursed in Russian. She didn't understand. Then we cursed in English, and the answer was, it's not a nice thing to say. It's very nice. All right.
Dr. Schultz, you curse at your Alexa all night? That's what you do?
Well, after she said it, I disconnected her from electricity, and that is it. She's dead.
Wow, you got a short fuse over there.
No, I don't want her to spy on me. You know, I'm a paranoid Russian over here. So
returning back to this origin story, because we got to, get this movie deal real quick. So you came to the States.
Right.
But there's still like a huge gap of knowledge I'm missing here of like how you actually became the psychiatrist. Like, do you get bit by a radioactive spider one day? Woke up with like, psychic powers?
You don't have to reveal all my secrets in the very first episode, right? All of the above, yeah.
It's episode 2.
So actually what happened was this. So I came to the United States after I spent a few years teaching internal medicine and working as a family doctor, with a heavy emphasis on psychology and psychiatry. I also did quite a bit of neurophysiology research in a famous institution. So the first job I got, I was cleaning dishes in the Russian restaurant, and then I went to Columbia University and basically went floor by floor, giving my CV out, and got a job. So that's my secret. In neuroendocrinology research. Something very complicated.
Wait, time out. You just went to Columbia, cold turkey,
yes,
didn't have a plug, wasn't dating somebody's daughter.
Nope.
None of it.
No.
Just a resume.
Yeah, spoke English, yeah. Wrote a resume, and it turned out that one of the people needed somebody who was from Europe or Eastern Europe, had good experience, and didn't want a person to know too much about what he was doing, because it's easier to teach a person, like from scratch, than to retrain them. You understand it, right?
Yeah.
It's just easier. So I got lucky. He hired me. By the way, the best boss I've ever had, Dr. Michel Ferrand from Belgium, but a full professor at Columbia. I did 4.5 years of research of neuroendocrinology, published a couple of papers together with him and everybody else. And then I passed my boards, and I had to face a very important decision. What do I want to do? And I decided I want to do psychiatry because it's a shortcut to helping people with the brain. So because I had Columbia University background, right? 4.5 years. I had papers published. I basically could have gotten anywhere I wanted to, and I chose Beth Israel Medical Center, currently it's Mount Sinai, Beth Israel, because there, in the program, they taught us also psychotherapy, brief adaptive psychotherapy. So I went there. You do 4 years of residency training in psychiatry. Internal medicine does 3. Brain surgeons, I think, do 11 or something like that.
11?
I don't know, a lot.
my
So
God.
at my last year, I was a chief resident, together with Dr. Fernando Cobos from Colombia. So it was a cool team.
Mm-hmm.
And
Go ahead, name drop. Go ahead.
no. I mean, I don't know that he's very famous, but Fernando, if you are famous, buenos dias, señor capitán. And then I started working as a psychiatrist. I also, all my life was doing alternative medicine, homeopathy and alternative medicine. So I'm a founding diplomat of the American Holistic Medical Association. I have books out and stuff.
Go ahead. Tell them. Let them know.
Yeah, but listen, what about you?
What I became a psychiatrist?
Yes.
You want to hear my epic story?
No, but like, what about you? Like, why did you take this name, Hermes?
Hermes is the messenger of the gods in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And, when I got like 2 joints in me, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of liquor in me.
Right.
A nice microphone going on.
Right.
And like an engineer who can like correct for the fact that I can't sing or like actually use my voice in any kind of way.
Right.
Because, computers and AI and everything. Look at the segues I got.
Right.
Computers are taking over everything. Music to auto-tune, blah, 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 this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Anyway, when I'm in that mode,
Right.
I think I have the message of the gods like coming out of my mouth, actually putting it down on a song.
So could we sample one of your messages right now?
One of my messages right now?
Yeah, right now.
Wait. Okay, so, but you said
Right.
that you published a paper, right?
No, I published a few books. I have books published.
But I mean, when I say that paper, I mean like
Scientific papers.
Yeah,
about
scientific
neuroendocrinology.
paper, like a study. Yeah.
About something.
Yeah, not like a paper that you turned into a t-shirt. Like a big boy paper.
So, but you went to college, right? Mm-hmm. You even graduated college. Mm-hmm. What did you do? What was your major?
I went to school for film.
So what do you do when you are not recording a podcast with me?
I sleep a lot. You know what I mean? Look at this.
Do you eat?
Do I do weed? Man, I do weed so hard.
I hate it. You guys should see how skinny this guy is. I hate him. Like, he is taller than me. I'm 6'3". How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Yeah, see, this is a big problem. Like, big problem. I don't know. Maybe it was a
it's
mistake.
Like 50, 6'3" and 50 cents.
Yeah, 50 cents.
50 cents.
50 cents. He's good. Yeah. And so you sleep, you eat a lot. What else do you do? You record?
Yeah, I record. I rap. I live my life.
Can we sample you like one of your songs here?
Sample one of my songs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I thought I was gonna freestyle on the intro one time. I thought that was gonna be the intro, but you shot down my dreams.
So can you do it right now?
Right now?
Yeah. Can we get some music here, please?
All right, copy.
Okay.
We're coming back to the paper because I want to hear about.
Yeah, good. But let's do some music here.
Okay, we got big tunes coming with money on the 1s and 2s. From now on, I gotta get to know him. He running the boards right now, recording us, making us sound all cool. You a beatbox?
Yeah. Yo.
You need the beatbox, you the beatbox, not the shows with the beatbox and the beatbox, But you didn't start beatboxing. Like that.
Give me an example here. I'll follow.
That was my best example.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Look, the magic. Hey, ooh, he's so tragic. Ooh, hey, ooh, on beat, that's be magic. Oh my God, with your freak in a casket. Oh my God, she need her brain, she need to think about some things. Oh my God, all the girls she thinks is lame. Oh my, whoa, this is fire. Oh my God, you didn't show me this. I'm mad with money. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay.
Papers.
Dr. Schultzy went around a paper and he get a little paper and he see it girls later cause he always on a chaser and he ain't a chaser. Ooh, drinking Russian vodka. Ooh, yeah, I got that blocker. Ooh, yeah, I need a llama. Want no drama. Got the commas, got the M's, and we coming with some friends and we coming to the den with the rules with my dogs. Then we do it to the end and I do it from the ends and I do it hella band off the marijuana and the Mary Jane got some Mary lames and I'm everything. I don't marry things. I just break them home and I make them sing. Whoa, who singing like a choir? Ooh, hey, yeah, you inspired. Ooh, yeah, I got that fire. Ooh, hey, do it so dire. Whoa, who? Dr. Schultzy about to get next. He got the brain wisdom. Yeah, and I got that good lyrics in your system. Hey. Ooh, Hermes came to get him.
Papers.
That was
Columbia University.
That was a bad freestyle. Yo, you got my ad-libs though. Oh my God,
yeah,
that
ad-libs
is fire.
Yeah. Okay, so back to psychiatry. So it's not actually good enough just to go to the residency training. Then you kind of want to get board certified. So it's yet another exam, and I can't even begin to tell you how many times did I swear to myself, which is not a good thing, and to other people, not a good thing, to give promises you don't keep, that I'm never taking exams anymore. But guess what? In order to get board certified, you need to have spent about a year after residency training, after you graduated. Mm-hmm. And then you take a written exam, which is extremely difficult. And our board is called an American Board of Psychiatry and Neurology. Guess what? The same board certifies neurologists, but for them it's called neurology and psychiatry. So we take an exam where over 70% of questions are psych, and only 20% are neurology. For them it's vice versa. If you pass it, then you take an oral exam, which is a terrible thing because, amongst other things, you have to interview a patient, and you have people, like 4 people sitting in front of you while you're interviewing the patient, and people intentionally come in and come out, interrupt you. It's a disaster. And
so
then
they try to ruin your appointment.
Yes, to see how good you can do.
Yeah,
and then they also talk to you about different cases. So to my surprise, I actually passed and became a board certified psychiatrist.
First time?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then a lot of people do. And then I actually was lucky in quotes because it was the first year when they forgot about what they used to do. So it used to be you do it once and you are a lifetime kind of winner. No, now it's every 10 years. So I already retook it once, which was actually even more disastrous because you come in, they take electronic fingerprints, and then computer starts throwing questions at you. And it's an absolute curve, you understand? So it's not, your grades are not related to how other people did. It's absolute curve. I came out knowing I failed. I actually did pretty well. It was very amazing.
Ooh.
So, but that is also not good enough because you also want to go to American Psychiatric Association meetings at least once a year and read a lot of papers and be kind of with the program, like you need to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And so, for example, recently I went to San Francisco to the American Psychiatric Association meeting, which was actually meeting number 175. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, I'll tell you right now that American Psychiatric Association is the largest psychiatric professional organization in the world, and it has foreign members. How many members do you think it has? Just throw a number at me.
Let's go with like 300,000.
All right. Actually, it's 38,500 only.
38,000?
500
for the
only.
whole country?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Ain't that like 300? I do not do well at math, but
right.
That's 3, and then there's what, 300 million Americans? So you take some
we have-
zeros away, and I feel like there's not that many psychiatrists for.
Yeah, so I'm going
for
to
the
give you
Americans.
numbers, and you can read them to our listeners.
Oh my God.
Right.
I'm gonna pretend I'm.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
We're gonna
yeah.
edit out the pretend word.
Right, yeah.
I've no calculator.
Right, right.
All the math in my head right now. I'm just doing numbers. Give me a sec.
You just do the numbers.
Okay. So there's some mental health facts for y'all people. Since y'all don't know facts, but you know I'm the fact plug out here.
Yeah.
So 43.8 million adults experience mental illness in a given year.
Compared to 38,000 psychiatrists, this is not a very good ratio.
Nah, it's not
Keep
popping,
going.
bro.
Keep going.
You know when it's a bad ratio? When
Right.
it's like the night at the club, but it's like a Wednesday night, and
Right.
there's like 4 girls in there, and then a whole bunch of like bankers and old dudes, and then
Right.
this dude's like trying to get their groove back, who's
Right.
like running out from their wife, you know, type deal.
I personally
They check-
I didn't like the club. I went once to a red room in a prestigious club because I knew a promoter. And basically my impression of the
Wait.
club,
You went to Red Room?
yeah.
Okay, copy.
Okay.
copy.
So
I
my
thought you
no
just
no no
meant
no
a
no
Red Room.
no
I
no
was
the
like,
club
what-
the club wasn't called the Red Room, but every club I understand has a red room, which is like an upscale room where there are people dancing, there are live dancers there, they give you food there, like upscale.
What kind of clubs you go into?
No, it was only once. I knew a promoter. What's the big deal?
With money. You ever been to a club? They
No,
got a Red Room?
I didn't pay anything.
Yo, you on some straight? Yo, we
Yeah.
hang out. No,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
anyway, so my
on a
impression of
different
the club is this, and I could be wrong, correct me. First, people come and they're very stiff. They're not drunk. They're sober. They don't talk to each other. And then they get drunk out of their mind, and then it gets crazy, and then everybody goes home and doesn't remember what happened the next day. It's pretty much like it is.
Maybe it depends on the type of vibe you're going for.
Right.
Like if you have maybe mainstream EDM music and everybody in the crowd is like from a very like bro-y, like I work so hard 10 days a week down on Wall Street.
Right.
It's only 7 days in a week,
Right,
but they
right,
work 10.
right.
You feel me?
I know.
Oh, I had to break it down.
Yeah.
There's slow people out there, but yeah, they work all week, and the only chance they get to like be a wild person who's not sitting at a desk is
Right.
in a club. Yes, those people go to the club, black out, don't remember anything,
Right.
and go back to work on Monday.
Right.
There's different vibes though. There's some different ratios. There's always at least 30% of people who are there too drunk.
Right.
So you are correct in that, but you can find some better.
So
vibes.
speaking of that, let's go back to the stats.
Back to the terrible stats we were talking
Right.
about here. So at this terrible mental health club, so 43.8 million adults experience mental illness in a given year.
Right.
1 in 5 adults in America experience a mental illness. Nearly 1 in 25 adults in America live with a serious mental illness. That is 10 million people. Also, peep the math I'm doing right now.
Right. So compare them to actually it's 38.5 thousand members internationally and nationally. The estimate of the number of psychiatrists in the United States that I picked up from the internet today is actually 28,000 psychiatrists. And they say that the number is actually dwindling rapidly since those who are practicing are aging. So 3 in 5 psychiatrists currently in practice are 55 years or older.
55 or older?
Or older, as of February 25, 2018. Okay?
Wow.
Okay, so for your information, right now I'm 63 and 7 months years old.
Don't look a day over 25.
So in October I'm going to be 64.
Yo, this man look great. I
yeah.
need to get on YouTube, watch these videos, bro.
Right.
This man do not look 65 at all, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm not 65, I'm 63.
63. 63. My head did round it.
You know what? Funny story. I used to run a free clinic in the Bronx, and I remember one of the patients really liked me. And she said, Dr. Schultz, you look so young. How old are you? At that time, I was 44. I told her, like, coquettishly, do you want to guess? She said, yeah, like 55, 57.
Yes, the worst, bro. Sometimes you can set yourself up for failure, bro. That's what it is. Sometimes you
Right.
set yourself up for failure, bro.
Yeah.
But that's how it be, though, when you
Right.
have the published research papers from
Right.
Columbia University. You
Right.
get the doctor clout, and then the
Right,
girls
yeah.
come for you. Is that what happens, though? Because that's what I imagine happens, like, in the scientific community. Like, if you were, like, part of a super huge, like, paper
Right.
or, like, study that dropped.
Right.
It's almost like having the number one album in the country right now, and then you hit the club. And all the
Absolutely
girls
not.
Like, oh
Plus,
my God.
Absolutely
Let me
not.
get on the tour bus, like-
Plus, listen, I wouldn't know because I was married at the time, so I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, forget it. Forget about it.
Ooh, his poker face is mean, y'all.
Yeah.
You can see it through the microphone, bro, in HD. Bro.
Yeah.
Facts. Facts
Yes,
is what we're talking
facts,
about? Okay.
yeah.
So,
But
yes.
it's a fact I was married. That's a fact.
Fact.
Yeah. Okay, more facts.
Fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so one half of all chronic mental illness begins by the age of 14, 3/4 by the age of 24. That is terrifying because I'm 24 years old and I
Yeah.
just hit the pit.
You are
of-
not mentally ill. People,
I got like 6 more months.
brains of the internet, this guy is totally normal. He's certifiably normal.
I'm certified normal.
Yeah, just too skinny.
I'm from out of this planet. I'm an
Yeah,
alien. I'm
right,
not
right.
normal. I'll let y'all know.
Yeah, you came from the mountains probably. You know, people from the mountains, they're skinny.
My mountain people.
Well, you are a god, right? Hermes.
Oh, that's true. Olympus? Yeah.
Olympus, yeah. So you came from Olympus.
Yeah, I just try to be humble.
Yeah,
you know?
nice camera, Olympus, yeah. Okay.
So if we're talking about prevalence of mental illness by
Right.
diagnosis, because really we were having a whole like spiel just then, but it was really because
Right.
I was doing math in my head because
Right.
I'm a genius with it.
Of course.
So 1.1%, right? 1 in 100 American adults live with schizophrenia. That's 2.4 million people.
Right.
2.6% of American adults live with bipolar disorder, or
Right.
6.1 million people. There are 16 million American adults living with major depression, and another 42 million American adults living with anxiety disorders. That's 18.1%.
So, you know, we are from New York. So I
Mm-hmm.
tell my patients all the time, like if somebody's unhappy, like comes in and wants me to prescribe a lot of Xanax or comes in drunk and wants me to treat them and I refuse and they get upset, I tell them, look, I'm only one psychiatrist. Like I refuse to do this kind of stuff. But actually in New York, we have 2 psychiatrists per square inch. But after, you get an impression like that.
No,
right?
yeah, it's crazy because
Right,
when you
right.
said all these statistics, I was like, I thought
Yeah.
there were psychiatrists
Yeah,
just
I also
like
thought so.
hiding behind
Right,
rocks and
right,
you know,
right.
in the subway.
But it turns out it's not the case. We don't have enough.
No, copy that.
So I suggest that since you are refusing to get interrogated and you don't reveal all the deep secrets about you, we let people live with this information. We are welcoming you, meaning me, myself, and I are welcoming you to this podcast.
Thank
Is
you,
there
thank
anything
you.
else you would like to say before we stop?
It's gonna be really popping. Like, I know it's the first time y'all hearing me, and I'm gonna come in, settle in, you know, get my Barry White voice. Hold on, let me put on my Barry White voice. But just know that as young Hermes learns the way to speak into your minds, that your brain will ascend to 9,000.
Exactly. So people, keep your brains wide open.
And we see you next week.
Yes. Bye.
Peace. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of BrainStorm9000. If you like us, love us, or marginally tolerate us,
And definitely, if you hate us,
then go on social media and give us a review on Stitcher, iTunes, or YouTube, or wherever you listen to us.
and remember,
Keep your brains open.